Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a deep dive into Heroes of Valor, a brand new indie shooter currently in early access on Steam. The game is being described as a spiritual successor to Battlefield Heroes, EA's short-lived but beloved class-based shooter from 2009. That game was colorful, lighthearted, and very different from the more serious Battlefield entries. And while it was shut down in 2015, a lot of players have been craving something like it ever since. Now, Heroes of Valor is stepping into that space with its own style, its own mechanics, and the challenge of balancing nostalgia with modern expectations. So, how does it stack up? Let's break it down. So, what is Heroes of Valor? At its core, Heroes of Valor is a class-based, small to medium map multiplayer shooter. You choose from 4 distinct classes: Recon, Trooper, Heavy, and an Engineer coming soon, each with their own strengths, weaknesses, and equipment. From there, you jump into matches on objective-driven maps that mix infantry combat with vehicles like tanks, planes, and motorcycles. This is not a military simulator. It's not trying to be gritty or ultra-realistic like Squad. Instead, it embraces a more stylized, arcade-like approach. The matches are fast-paced, easy to learn, and meant to be fun first. That's where the Battlefield Heroes comparison makes sense. Both games prioritize accessibility and personality over pure realism. Unlike many modern shooters, Heroes of Valor also doesn't bombard you with complex progression systems or endless unlocks. It's designed to be approachable. You can pick up a class, jump in, and have fun without needing to grind dozens of hours just to get decent gear. Let's talk about the gameplay and the classes. The class system is one of the pillars of Heroes of Valor. Recon plays a sniper role. Long range, fragile, but dangerous if you can land shots. They bring mobility tools and stealthy gameplay. Trooper is your all-around soldier. Mid-range rifles, flexible loadouts, and solid survivability make this the most beginner-friendly choice. Heavy lives up to the name. They're slower, but with high firepower and durability. Expect machine guns, explosives, and a role that dominates choke points. The design here is familiar to anyone who's played Battlefield Heroes. Each class feels unique and has a defined role on the battlefield. However, balance is still a work in progress. Troopers often feel like the safest, most versatile pick, while heavies sometimes struggle in one-on-one situations. This is part of the early access growing pains, and the developers are already making adjustments based on community feedback. The shooting itself is straightforward. Weapons have recoil and spread, but it's not punishing. You won't need hours of practice to land shots, which is refreshing compared to some of the competitive shooters today. That being said, some weapons lack punch. The sound design and impact feedback could use more weight to make kills feel more satisfying. Maps in Heroes of Valor are designed for small to medium large scale battles, combining open fields, villages, and choke points. The focus is on capturing and holding objectives, much like traditional conquest mode. Early access only offers a handful of maps right now, which means repetition sets in quickly. However, the layouts are solid. There's enough space for vehicles to matter without making infantry feeling useless. A good mix of cover, elevation, and flanking routes ensures that classes can all find their role. The biggest challenge at this stage is variety. While the current maps are functional, they lack the personality and distinctiveness that made Battlefield Heroes maps more memorable. In Heroes of Valor, most maps feel interchangeable. The developers have promised more biomes, unique locations, and different modes down the line, which will be critical for long-term replayability. Kudos to them for their hard work. Vehicles. They are one of the most exciting and yet frustrating parts of Heroes of Valor. Right now, you've got access to tanks, planes, and motorcycles. Tanks bring heavy firepower and are vital for breaking defenses. Planes allow for bombing runs and aerial duels, and motorcycles give players quick mobility across maps. The inclusions of vehicles is a big deal. They expand the scale of battles and help give Heroes of Valor that combined arms feeling. However, handling is inconsistent. Tanks feel sluggish and clunky, while planes are difficult to control smoothly. It's clear the vehicle system still needs polish to strike the balance between arcade fun and usability. Despite these issues, vehicles add much needed variety. Matches where players coordinate tank pushes or use planes to harass objectives feel much more alive than simply infantry skirmishes. Progression in Heroes of Valor is surprisingly light. Unlike many shooters, you're not grinding endlessly for weapon attachments or locked behind paywalls for basic equipment. Instead, progression focuses on cosmetics and small rewards. This approach fits the game's identity. It's meant to be accessible and fun, not a lifestyle game. That said, the limited unlocks means there's not much long-term incentive yet for playing beyond the sake of fun. Battlefield Heroes kept players coming back with goofy costumes, seasonal events, and community challenges. Heroes of Valor is moving in that direction, but isn't quite there yet. On the positive side, the developers have made it clear they don't want pay-to-win mechanics. That's quite refreshing in today's market, and it gives the game a solid foundation for fair, player-first design. On the technical side of things, performance is good. On mid-range PC, the game runs smoothly most of the time, but there are reports of stuttering, hit detection issues, and server lag. Animations and sound design also feel unfinished, which can pull you out of the experience. Another challenge is population. Because the player base is still small, matches often fill with bots. The bots themselves do a great job of keeping games active, but they're not a replacement for real players. A lot of the excitement in games like this comes from unpredictable, human-driven chaos, and bots just can't replicate that. This is a hurdle all early access multiplayer games face. The key will be whether Heroes of Valor can grow its community steadily enough to keep servers populated and engaging. So if you want to support those talented developers, go to Steam and get the game. It's even on a really good price. You will be obsessed with it for a long time. So, what's the verdict? Is Heroes of Valor worth your time in 2025? The short answer is yes. If you are a fan of Battlefield Heroes and have been waiting for something to capture that lighthearted, accessible, combined arms shooter experience, Heroes of Valor is absolutely worth checking out. It's fun, it's affordable, and has a lot of potential. But if you're looking for a polished, content-rich experience with balanced classes, refined mechanics, and strong matchmaking, you might have to wait a bit for the future. This is very much an early access title. The foundation is strong, but the structure isn't fully built yet. The real question is whether the developers can deliver on their roadmap. If they expand the maps, improve vehicle handling, polish the visuals and audio, and add more personality to the world, Heroes of Valor could carve out a loyal audience as the spiritual successor to Battlefield Heroes. For now, it's an enjoyable but incomplete experience. A game with charm, promise, and a nostalgic spark, but one that still needs time in the oven. And that's our review for Heroes of Valor. What do you think? Does this scratch the itch for Battlefield Heroes fans, or is it too early to tell? Let me know your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. If you found this review helpful, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more in-depth reviews of indie and multiplayer games. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Wink wink.